I'm short either way, whether I feel it or not. But hello, everybody. Thank you for having me tonight. Brian and I actually go way back. He is a long-standing friend of my family, which I will talk about my family in a little bit. But I am on the Knox County School Board running for Knox County Mayor. I was born and raised here in East Tennessee. I grew up in Blount County, went to Maryville City Schools. My dad actually came here from Greece when he was 16 years old. His parents put him on a boat to Ellis Island for a better life. He didn't speak English. He didn't graduate high school. He came over here and started opening up restaurants. When he was 3 years old, he lived during World War II. And so when he was 3 years old, the Nazis came through his village and obliterated his village. And the reason they survived is his mom took all 4 kids and hid in the mountains in Greece. So when he was 4, his family moved to Athens. It's funny, sometimes I have my parents here at some of these meetings, and somebody asked my dad once, they said, "Oh, you moved to Athens, Tennessee?" And he said, "No, Athens, Greece. I had not come to Tennessee quite yet." So he moved to Athens, Greece when he was 4, and then came here through Ellis Island at 16. And I tell my kids, I said, this was not a cruise boat. He did not text his parents when he came here to say, "Oh, I made it. Here's a selfie with the Statue of Liberty." So he made his way to Knoxville, and he opened up with his brother the Varsity Inn down on Cumberland. So I know several of you have eaten there over the years.
The oldies.
Yeah. So those were good memories. So he had the Varsity Inn with his brother, and then he opened up Lakeview Market and Deli on Alcoa Highway.
Best hot dogs at Smoky Mountain Market.
Yes. And then he had Campus Liquor on Alcoa Highway as well. So I'm very proud of where I come from. My parents built the American Dream. I have 2 sisters. They gave us the American Dream, and I want to make sure that the American Dream is alive for that next generation here in Knox County. So like I said, I grew up in Maryville. I went to UT and graduated from UT in 2001. And at the time, Congressman Duncan had offered me a job to come to his DC office. And I remember he gave me 2 dates. He said, you can start on September 10th or September 17th, so the day before 9/11 occurred. And I had chosen September 17th just so I could spend another week here in Knox County with my family. And so I moved up to DC the week of 9/11. And so that was an interesting time, but it was, I wanted to serve in DC, and Congressman Duncan has been a great friend to me ever since. And I met my husband up in DC, and we started a family. And when our kids were 3 and 5, we decided to move back home. And so our kids go to Hardin Valley schools. And when both kids were in elementary school, I decided to run for PTO president. I had been room mom. I was volunteering in their schools daily. So I was in the schools all the time. So I was PTO president for 2 years. And then in 2020, decided to run for the school board because I clearly do things during easy times. Moved to DC during 9/11, run for the school board in 2020. So I ran for the school board and won that race. And then I ran again in 2022. My first term was an abbreviated term. And just to let you guys know how important it is to vote in these local elections. I know we have city elections up right now. It is so important. So in 2020, it was a special election for me. So I was on the Trump-Biden ticket that year. 26,000 people came out just in District 6. 26,000 people. When I ran again in 2022, 6,000 people came out to vote. So it really goes to show how important these local elections are. And your county commission, your school board, your mayor, your city council, these are the people that affect your day-to-day, whether it's your schools, your roads, your taxes. Those elections matter. So I just want to stress how important it is to put good leadership, good people in these roles. So I've been on the school board for the past 6 years. I served as chair for 2 years, which was great. I've really enjoyed my service on the school board. A lot of things during the school board. One, I came in during COVID. So I was one of the leading voices on the school board to keep our kids in schools and out of masks. We saw what was going on in New York. We saw what was going on in California. It was important for us to make sure that our kids were in school. And we are blessed with leadership. Bill Lee had opened up our state pretty early on, as well as Mayor Jacobs. So I'm very proud of the leadership that we had here at the local level. Another thing that we accomplished on the school board was making sure that police stayed in our schools. I can't even believe that I have to say that, but there was a time when the city mayor tried to take police out of our schools. And so we fought to keep the police in our schools. So it was another thing that we had to deal with. And just getting back to the basics. You know, our kids dealt with a lot during COVID, and so just getting back to the basics. 4 years ago, we hired a new superintendent, John Ryswick. He has been such a great addition and a great leader to our schools. I served on the superintendent search committee and helped hire him, and his leadership has been wonderful. Under his leadership, we focus on 4 priorities. 4 priorities. That's it. We know that we educate kids very well, and everything else, community can come around the kids. So that's something else that I've been proud of, that we've gotten back to the basics on the school board. So now that my kids are a little bit older, and I've served on the school board for the past 6 years, I thought, what's next? What's next for me? What's next for our family? How do I want to serve? And so our family took the holidays and really prayed over this. And I think I was looking for God to tell me to stay comfortable, but he was really pushing me to do something more and serve in a different capacity. So we decided to jump in to this mayor's race. I'm very excited. You know, I've fought and won big battles already, and so I'm a proven leader, and I'm excited for our vision that we have for Knox County. You know, Knox County is at a crossroads. We need a strong conservative leader for the next 4 to 8 years to take Knox County into the next 20 to 30 years. And we need that leader to make sure that we have low taxes, that we have smart growth, and to make sure we are protecting our way of life. I've already proven that on the school board, protecting our way of life and our freedoms. Taxes, let's talk about that for a little bit. And if people have questions as we go on, please just let me know. We have to make sure that we keep our taxes low and keep money in the pockets of hard-working families. We know we have debt coming up, but we can tackle that debt by cutting waste and spending and making 3 things a priority. If 50 things are a priority, nothing's a priority. I'll give you an example on the school side. So 2 years ago, we decided to make it a priority to bring teachers up to market value. Maryville, Oak Ridge, they all pay their teachers more, and so a lot of our teachers were leaving for those other districts. Through the past few years, or several years, we've been giving our teachers 4% raises, but so has Maryville and Oak Ridge. And so we decided to close that gap. We did a study, and we figured out that it was going to cost $41 million to bring our teachers to market value. We were told that it would take 3 to 5 years to do this. By cutting back, we went to every department downtown and said, cut back 5%. So every department cut back 5%. And by saving money, we were able to find $41 million within a year. I bet if you had asked the departments to cut back 7% or 10%, they would have been able to do it. Over the past year, we have cut 50 positions at central office. Yet in the classroom and at the school level, we only have 4 teacher vacancies. So by cutting back, good old-fashioned cutting back, we do it in our families. We balance our checkbooks, we sit at our kitchen tables, and we make it a priority on what to spend and what to cut back. And we just need to do that at the county level. Making a few things a priority. So what are those? Good roads, good schools, and safe neighborhoods. These are the things, again, that affect our everyday lives. And these are things that I want to focus on and make a priority. Something that I was really proud of last week. So we know that there's a city sales tax increase on the city ballot. Yeah, thank you, Ginger. So we know that that's on the ballot right now. So last week I spearheaded a press conference along with several of our state representatives and a few of our county commissioners, and we took a stand and said that we oppose this sales tax and to vote no on it. We had every media outlet cover this press conference. So it got great traction, and it's something I'm very proud of, and I'm proud of the leadership we have in Knox County. Does anybody have any questions right there? I threw a lot at you. No? Okay. Great schools we've already worked on, and we aren't there yet though. We aren't there. Roads, we need to make sure that we're proactive in our infrastructure. These are the roads that we drive on every day. And I'll give you, just an example in our own family. I have a new driver. He's 16. I live all the way out in Hardin Valley on a 2-lane road. And it's scary, y'all. There is a lot of houses going up in Hardin Valley. There are houses popping up all over the place. Yet our roads cannot accommodate all of the people that we have driving on those roads. We have a lot of new drivers. We have a lot of people moving here. We are growing, but we have to be smart about that growth too and make sure that it matches the character of Knox County and make sure that we are taking care of the people that already live here. So that's something that is so important, making sure that we are growing in the right way. So I served on the Advanced Knox Committee before it went to County Commission, City Council, and the Town of Farragut. That plan, they had gotten community input at the beginning of that plan. When I served on the committee, we had hundreds of community members show up saying, well, this isn't what we wanted, I was one of 2 no votes, because what that plan does is put 10,000 acres of farmland into an area that will now be fully developed. All of Hardin Valley, all of Carnes, that whole area is now in that development plan. So I was one of 2 no votes. So I take hard stands, and I will always stand up for principle. I will always stand up in what I believe in, and I will always listen to the people and what they want. And it's about working together and coming to the table. Yes, Ms. Hill?
Thank you. I appreciate your service on the school board and in your wisdom that you gained as 2 years as chair. My understanding, actually, from our school board leadership, was that the $41 million that you talked about, that actually 37 million of that came directly from the state.
Well, let's talk about that. So I served.
It was part of Governor Lee's proposal, and if you'll talk to any of our state representatives, they are very proud that that accomplishment allowed us to make our 10 to 12 to 15% increases. That was not as a result of county cutting back on school money. That was new money that came to the state.
No, it was the money that we
was.
had, and I'm actually very proud in the fact that, so for the past 25 years, we've had a funding formula for our schools, which people joke, only 3 people understand this funding formula. So under Governor Lee's leadership, we switched to a new funding formula, TISA, which I was on one of the very first committees for that. I was the only school board member in the state on this committee. And so because of that, I fought to get the money from the state that we deserve. We were giving so much money to the state, and it was being divvied up in other places. So I thought, hey, well, that's our money from here in Knox County. Let's keep that money here for our kids. So in our school budget, yes, we cut back 5% every department and saved in our budget without asking County Commission for a tax increase. So it is something that I am very proud of.
And we were also allotted
So
an
does
extra
anybody-
30 minutes,
thank you, Ms. Hill. Thank you.
$7 million that year from the
Okay,
state.
okay, all right, Terry.
You
Thank you.
cannot ignore that.
Okay, Terry.
I'm the only
Go ahead,
candidate.
go ahead, Betsy.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. I'm the only candidate who has made a commitment to not raise your taxes. One thing that people talked about is we need an increase in property taxes. Again, we do not need an increase in property taxes. Our budget at the county is $1.1 billion, with a B, $1.1 billion. And again, by making three things a priority: great roads, great schools, safe neighborhoods, and really, putting into law enforcement, we have enough money to do what we need to do here in Knox County.
Anybody else?
What's your feeling on so-called affordable housing? I'm talking about taxpayer-funded versus private enterprise. My neighborhood, as well as two others, fought it in the city. We felt like this is just not right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we lost in each case, but that caused a lot of problems.
Yeah. Affordable housing, I feel like, is a buzzword for government-funded housing. That's exactly what it is. And under India Kincannon's proposed tax increase, affordable housing is one of the priorities, but also greenways and sidewalks. Well, you know what? The city has had 2 tax increases in the past 4 years. This will be the 3rd tax increase. What are they doing with the other money? They spent $1.4 million on that mushroom statue downtown. Why don't they put that towards sidewalks? But affordable housing is a buzzword for government-funded housing.
One other question. I'd be very careful about the greenways. I don't know if you're familiar here on Sutherland Avenue, from Lebanon down to West High. This goes back 25 years ago. We already had a sidewalk, and we had parking, which the restaurants desperately need now. You could park parallel down to the Armory, then perpendicular into the west. Now we need that parking. And all that was taken away from us. And what we had proposed was something going behind some of the restaurants, now like the Promenade downtown. But the city did not listen to the people in the neighborhood. I mean, we lived here all our lives, we knew what was coming.
Right,
so if a greenway can be helpful to a neighborhood, fine. If not, it's a luxury we can't afford.
Absolutely, it is a luxury. Now, if it is in the budget already, that's great. But we shouldn't be raising taxes to make it a priority.
And David's wearing his Bring Back Sutherland Parking shirt.
There you go.
But you can have a picture with David wearing his shirt.
Keep your fingers crossed. What I propose, I know the city's going to do it.
To follow up on what David's talked about with affordable housing, all of us that were here last month heard Bentley Marlowe talk about the condos that were built as part of Covenant Park. The per square, if you look, both TIFs for that and for Liberty Place, which is where the veterans now have housing. This per square footage price, if y'all remember, and we've got the video of Bentley saying this, the per square footage price for those luxury condos at Covenant Park and the per square foot price to build Liberty Place was exactly the same. So when you talk about the fact it's just a buzzword for government subsidies, it appears to be the same if you look at all the tax cuts that Randy Boyd got for Covenant Park. Anybody else? Go ahead, Leah. I knew you'd have a good question.
Okay, well, you mentioned that you went to Maryville City Schools.
I did,
And they are in the top 5 when it comes to the Department of Education and as being a great school.
Yes, and one of the top football teams too.
In Maryville. And I didn't go to
I was going to say, are you a fellow Blount Countian?
Well, in the way I am, I actually went to Maryville College.
Oh, wow. It is a beautiful campus. Oh, my goodness. It's so beautiful.
It surely is.
It's growing out there, too. It's totally different than when I grew up there. Totally different. Yeah, I was very blessed by the education I got there. And, that was something that was so important to my dad and my mom. Since my dad didn't graduate high school or go to college, something that was really important to my parents was making sure that they provided a good education for me and my sisters. So I am so thankful. Wasn't thankful when I was a teenager, but I am so thankful for my parents and what they provided for us. Because my dad and mom, when you are a small business owner, that's something else too. I have a passion for small businesses. I started a small business tour this summer, and it's still going on, and listening to these small businesses and their needs and what they want to see in the next mayor, what they want to see out of their government. It's so vital. Small businesses are the fabric of our community. They are the backbone of Knox County. And when you are a small business owner, you are the CEO, you are the janitor, you are the bookkeeper, you are the scheduler, you are stocking those shelves. And so I'm so thankful for all the hard work that my parents put in so that I can stand up here today in this position. And so I'm so grateful for the education I got. So that's really cool we have that connection. I love
Anyone
it.
else? All right, thanks, Betsy.
Awesome, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.